Hey guys, welcome EDM News, your weekly #1 source for news all around electronic dance music. We got today first up actually a festival, the Woodstock Festival. Not really electronic dance music, at least like not the original one, but they want to do a 50-year anniversary festival with all kinds of artists, also electronic dance music artists, but it's not sure if this will actually take place. There are rumors that it's not well organized and that there are concerns. And one of the biggest financial partners dropped out. Michael Lang, the one organizing it, says there will be a festival because there has to be a festival that is like in honor of 50 years Woodstock. So far confirmed as headliners, Jay-Z, Miley Cyrus, and Halsey, but it's all not 100% confirmed, and some artists of the lower tiers of the lineup already dropped out again. It might be the next FYRE festival. We hope not. Maybe Woodstock's coming back, maybe not. Let us know if you think that's actually a great idea to revive this festival. Next up in the news, Spotify, our favorite streaming service. They have now 100 million paying customers, subscribers that pay every month around 10 euros, dollars. That's a lot of people paying a lot of money per month, but they still do not manage to make a profit. They still lose money. 32% more premium users, which is good for all artists, because if someone streams a song and is a premium user, the artist gets a bigger cut. Smart speakers help Spotify immensely. A lot of people are now changing their habits of listening to music. Apple Music is still trying to catch up to Spotify in the US. They actually achieved that in the last quarter by 2 million, I think 28 million subscribers for Apple Music just in the US. And they're still fighting over all of the other countries. Let's see who wins this streaming battle. But it's still really not understandable how Spotify actually still loses money, but this way they at least don't have to pay taxes. And I think we all agree that Spotify streaming is definitely the future, so a lot of people invest into Spotify. And there are still huge countries that aren't part of Spotify. India was just recently introduced. So let's see what happens next. Huge mistake leak by Sony. They actually announced their quarterly numbers and also tried to show their investors what's coming up next to make their company look a little better, and some of the upcoming albums were actually leaked. It says noteworthy projects for 2019, and we have up on there the Khalid album that was just recently released. It's called Free Spirit. It's actually quite good. If you're into his sound, definitely go check it out. Then a couple more announcements on there that aren't out yet. For example, the Bruce Springsteen album, the Calvin Harris one, which is really interesting for us as EDM lovers. There will be a new Calvin Harris album this year. There is no name that leaked so far. I'm sure the name isn't even safe yet, maybe just a project title, but we can't wait to have the #1 earning DJ surprise us with another album. I really personally like his style, and he always switches it up, so I'm excited to see what he comes up with next. Also, again in the news, Zed, he announced his new tour covering 13 locations in the US, just 5 in Europe, and he will be supported on this tour by Jack Jones. The second half of the news will be presented by Jeff, our co-host. He's right now in Ibiza and is covering for this entire summer all of the news straight from the island.
What it is, what it was, what it's going to be, YouTube. I'm Jeff Posh. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about DJ Carnage. So Carnage uses his own experiences to create a song for change. You may or may not know, but in the United States, immigration, illegal or illegal, is a hot topic right now. And Carnage is pulling his own experiences with his family to talk about change and open up that discussion. Carnage is using his newest project to shed some light and to add a human face to what these people go through. Carnage's new track is titled Letting People Go, and it has a new sound. He wants to show the hardships and that people overcome a lot just as families trying to stay together. A portion of the proceeds from this record will go to a nonprofit that helps aid in immigrants and refugees. Camel Fat. Let's talk about Camel Fat. Camel Fat and Chasing Status are headlining Titan Warehouse parties. Titan Warehouse is hosting 2 massive parties in Splot Market in Cardiff. Camel Fat are headlining the Friday night performance on October 4th before Chasing Status on Saturday, October 5th. We're in Ibiza, so let's talk about Pikes. Ibiza institution Pikes announces its new summer schedule. Let's talk about it. Pikes House Parties returns with a raft of guest sets from Artwork, Bushwhacker, Leon Vinehall, Crazy P, and PBR Street Gang. Finishing off with resident DJ CC, and more guest DJs are being announced in the days to come. Melon Bomb takes over Thursday nights with classic house and funky disco. Pikes is legendary on the island. You've either been there or you haven't, but there's a lot of history at that place. A lot of great parties. It's your place to go hang out on the island. Jamie Jones. Let's talk about Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones talks about how Ibiza is a great brewing underground for DJs, producers, and the music that comes from this island. What he doesn't agree with is when people are doing things on the island just to be successful. Everybody wants to be the headliner, everybody wants to be the #1 DJ. What's kind of lost is the underground scene, where everybody just wants to be like low key and just do whatever for the music. The changes that have come in Ibiza clubbing are just more VIP and upscale tables. Jamie Jones talks about back in '98. The drinks and the club prices were always pretty expensive, but the hotel rooms and the flights were pretty reasonable. They were pretty cheap. He says this island really has to start to change and start to compete with other places across Europe. So yeah, Ibiza just needs to find a way to appeal to a more broader audience. But it's still a beautiful place. It has beautiful vibes here, and it's hard not to have a good time once you're here on this island. Carl Cox. Carl Cox brings Space Ibiza to London and his new label, Awesome Soundwave. With summer already here on the island, Carl Cox brings Balearic music and that spirit to London. May 26th, he brings Space Ibiza to Steelyard Superstructure in Finbury Park, which is a colossal venue that holds 15,000 people. Carl, the Techno King, will be joined by Nick Fanciulli, Eats Everything, Richie Ahmed, Steve Lawler, and a list of others, all of whom played part in the legendary space when it closed its doors 3 years ago. So Carl Cox talks about his new label, Awesome Soundwave. He's quoted as saying he didn't want this to be an Intech 2.0. So what Carl is doing is he's finding live electronic music acts that he likes and supports, and he's going to give them an outlet, put their music out, and offer some dates for the people in the public to see them. He's doing a showcase this year at ADE, and he's quoted as saying he doesn't think the world needs another DJ, but definitely live electronic music acts are something that the future needs to see. And we don't get to see live electronic music acts very often. If you guys like Kink and Paul Kalkbrenner, they're at the top of the tree, but that's something he feels that more people would like to see in the future. If you're into seeing live electronic music acts, and not just DJs, but those guys that perform with the synthesizers and drum machines and create music like producers do in the studio, right there live in front of you on the fly, you might want to take notice to Carl Cox's new Awesome Soundwave, and you'll be sure to see more live electronic music acts there. Coming to you live from beautiful sunny Ibiza, Spain, I'm Jeff Posh, and thank you for watching this segment of EDM News, where it's one thing I know and it's two things that's real. If you want to hear the real, you're going to hear it here first on EDM News. Man, we got our ears to the streets. We got the pulse of the culture in our veins. Let's kick it back to John.
So yeah, thanks a lot for watching another episode of EDM News. We will see us again next week, same time, more EDM news.